Hey there, happy Saturday there, it's me, Victor here. Gonna do a watch list for some stocks to watch over for next week. Again, all of these are really geared towards helping you find something within my trading system. Hopefully you can add it to yours. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take anything from this as financial advice, okay? But the primary focus, if you did happen not to see the video I just released, please go do so. I just released it pretty much quote unquote how most traders don't make it in the long run. So if you happen to go check it out, pretty much goes over what my trading process is, opening range highs and EPs. Okay, that's pretty much what I do. And again, I'm not saying I don't day trade. I do. It's just so hard seeing these micro small cap runners while you're at work on your phone. It's just so hard to manage. I do sometimes do it. I'd preferably trade them likely in the afternoon rather than the morning. I like seeing them set up, okay? But I'm not saying don't do it. It's just whatever works best for you. But pretty much this is what I like trading. Stocks like this. Not this higher priced up, but something like this. CPIX, had relative good news out of the open this past week. Positive phase news results, FDA. And had a nice reaction to that. This is really what you want to see. This is really, in a nutshell, what I do. He summed it up pretty much here. Kyle Maggie, as I mentioned, is who I learned from, not personally, but also has a lot of stuff online. And this is what you really want to see. A big move, as he said here, an orderly pullback, undercut, reclaim, surf, get tight, and expand and break out. And again, he left one thing out. He left volume. You always want to have volume in whatever you do, because volume is the sign. You want buyers coming in, and you want that. And this is a nice little, pretty much the same pattern I've been doing over and over again here. If I can get my thing here, I'm not sure if I can. If I can have a cursor, give me 1 second. Alright, so this is pretty much the same type of deal I've been telling you about. You have a big move here. I don't want the highlighter. You have a big move here, and you have a nice pullback. And all these stocks are going to pull back to some sense. And that's good, because whenever you have a pullback like this, it's going to attract buyers. And that's really what you want. You're going to have institutions, you're going to have them accumulating shares. And your job is really just to anticipate it. You don't want to buy it. You want to buy ideally when surfing, right? But most of the times you don't want to buy it mid-range. You want to buy it just right as it breaks over this range here. And that's in any stock. When you have a big move, a pullback in surfing, then it breaks out of this range. You're just to buy it here. You don't want to buy it random, okay? Because that leads to random results. And it's a lot, again, it's not that simple. Okay, it takes time, but over time, as I mentioned, whenever you keep a database of stock charts as with that same pattern, you're going to have the same exact thing in your head. And I want to encourage you, as I always say, you want to keep a database, but pretty soon you want the database to be in your head. So whenever you see the setup, it's going to be a good setup. Just as we mentioned, we have the quantum sector this past year, RGTI was an absolute wonderful setup here, as I can show you here. If I can do it, let's see if this loads. That's that one, which is on red. Here we go. RGTI, a lead quantum sector play. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Again, hindsight's 2020, but you get the gist. Big run up, pull back towards the EMA, range break, same deal here, same deal there, and now we're in this limbo mode. And this is typically a pattern that Timothy Sykes I learned from the penny stock framework. Ideally, two scenarios: a dead cat bounce, it's in a fade, or I have this on price alerts. Ideally, all the quantum stocks, as you can see here, most of the time they will make another run. Who knows when it's going to be? You have QBTS, see how they're all in a nice range, same type of scenarios, type of setup, as I mentioned. Open range high, run up, pull back, same deal, run up, pull back, same deal. This one failed, and sometimes it happens, okay? Trading's not an exact science. Sometimes it's going to fail. And now we're in this little limbo range, and it's really up to the quantum sector, how that plays out. Again, you don't want to play guessing games. You just have to take it as you will. This is pretty much the gist, It's not that easy as I say. You get to learn what works best for you. This one was the one I really nailed last year. I nailed it to a T. This is what you want to see. Okay, big pull up, big run up, as I just mentioned. I'll do this here. Big run up, you have a pullback, and see how it's surfing. So what you want to see? You want to see a stock that's surfing the moving averages, as Kalanagi says, because that shows there's buyers. That shows strength, and your job is to buy just as it breaks out of the range. Okay, and that's what I did. And I didn't think this was gonna go to freaking 90. I didn't held for that long. I sold into the 60s. Okay, and another buying opportunity was once it broke out of this range, and this is the gist of my trading methodology. That's really what I do over and over again, in a sense. And the stocks I'm going to show you right now, that's what I do. Okay, but again, keep a database. Okay, so this past week, LT lottery as well has been a nice one. I'm keeping an eye on next week. Again, most of these small cap stocks, I'm not going to mention the news. It does play a factor, but sometimes I just trade the price action, in a sense. I really don't care about the news. I take that back. I do care about the news. It's just sometimes most of these stocks, small cap sector stocks, in the end they're gonna go back down. Okay, you're just playing the price action. This one I believe was an acquisition of some sort, and that's what caused us to have a nice run up. But as you can see here, where's my pin at? Give me 1 second again. All right, sorry about that. So as you can see here, as I mentioned, here's what the gist is. You have a nice. I missed this initial breakout buy. That was a 5-star setup. Whenever you have it, that's a 5-star setup. Come on, hindsight's 20/20, right? And of course, the second time right here. But here's where's really the best one is right here. You have a pullback, bases, then it breaks out right there. That is the ideal time to buy. And we're in the same type of scenario. It did try again this past Friday, but it failed. So ideally, going forward for the rest of the week, I'm just going to keep a price alert on it. As you can see, I have a price alert over here. If it hits over 190, that's going to be an initial buy signal. Again, the more sideways the better, because the longer this goes sideways, the more it's going to accumulate volume and it's going to accumulate buyers. And again, you have a lot of short sellers who are short this stock, and you have to understand that short sellers have a time frame. They have a time frame of when to buy to cover, so that's going to lead to them. That leads to buying pressure. So the longer this serves, it's making higher lows, which is very good. But as of right now, it's no position, because it did try Friday, as I mentioned, and it didn't really. It tried, but it didn't really play well. As you can see, it tried to go, and it really didn't. So it's just in limbo mode right now, but it's still on radar. I'm still going to watch it. That's LTLY. CPIX is another one I'm watching, as I just mentioned, as I just started this video here. 5-star setup, FDA news. Always look at the big picture. Always look at the long-term chart. Again, I missed this EP, the initial EP, and sometimes you're gonna miss stuff. Sometimes that's just trading. I missed it right here over the the breakout right there. Obviously you buy it, the first initial EP, open range highs, nice second day gainer. But as I mentioned, it's pulling back. Surfing the moving averages. This one's gonna be top radar watch over 540, 550. If it holds, if it bases, good. The longer these bases, the longer they go. And here's one point I want to mention. I noticed that day trading, these small cap runners, you can make a lot of money. Yeah, but with these swing trade, opening range high plays, you want to think big picture, because most of these, that's where the big money is made, in these big picture trades. Like for instance, I want to tell you right now, PLTR, 5-star setup I'm watching. Range. This is what I'm going to tell you about. This is big picture here. I was on this last September right here. EP, okay, and massive gap up. EP. I did not hold this entire. When I bought it right here, I didn't hold the entire time. There's no way. I just don't have that confidence yet. I'm still learning. Right there though, I did buy, and I'm not sure where I sold. But this is pretty much the gist of what I want to tell you here. This is really what the play is. You EP. And of course, as I mentioned, this had a recent gap up off earnings and another high day break, as I missed this one, 105. Beautiful. Most of these offer multiple entries. That's what I noticed within this setup. Most of them offer buying opportunities. You just have to wait for it. Don't try chasing, don't try picking tops. Okay? But you get bigger moves with these for sure. That's where the big money's made. But PLTR for sure. Earnings continuation, look how it's trailing 10-day. Right now, it's really not really going to be a buy signal, in my opinion. It's just you don't want to be chasing a stock this high up. So you want to have it pull back some. So I want to be waiting, ideally, let it pull back, let it base a couple days in the 115s. Even if it dips down to 108, it's perfectly fine. And just let it do its thing and see if it sets up another range. If not, you just let it be, you know. But CPIX, I already went over that one. There's a lot here. Again, I'm not going to be able to trade all of these. I want you to understand that just because these are on my scans does not mean I trade every one of them. And I want you to know that just because you have something on a watch list doesn't mean you trade it. You have price alerts, and you tell yourself you want to get familiar with the stock on your watch list, so you know if price alerts hits, you know what to do. Okay, and that's what I do. I know if something on my phone hits, I know what's going to happen in a sense. AUR, another one, earnings as well. It's the wheat sector, I believe. I missed this one as well. I've been kind of missing a lot of plays lately. That's fine. You're going to miss some things sometimes. But beautiful chart so far. Ideally, more continuation. I'm just not chasing this now. It's going to do its thing. I'm going to let it trail 10 day. Ideally, if it does base and go over 1070, it's going to be a buy signal. But I really don't want to be buying. You really don't want to be buying up here. You want to be buying as an EP day. But you really want to see this like somewhat. I mean, if it does, I would rather have this couple of red days or something. Let it base, then go higher. Hopefully Monday doesn't just go over 1070, which it might. And if it does with volume, I may take part of that. But APP as well, much higher price stock. As I mentioned, this is a 5-star setup all the way. 5-star. Again, as I mentioned, most of these, I have this here. I have this written down. You can pause, I'm not going to read this. But most of the open range and EPs work best, of course, in whenever the momentum mode in the overall market is rising, like the QQQ, 10-day and 20-day rising. It's a good market to be long. And with APP, most of these stocks, most of these setups, the best ones, have a consolidation day after the EP. Okay, give me one moment. I'm gonna get my dinner out of the oven. Sorry about that. As I mentioned, most of the best stocks that run have a consolidation before the run up, like this one. It's a much higher price stock, so I likely won't trade it because of the buying power. I still have a small account. But if you have a larger account, this is ideal. You want this to base and have a nice range break over the high day break, open range highs, over 520. But again, ideally, more a couple days sideways. Again, this could fade as well. It's not an exact science because it happens before. It doesn't happen again. But it's really the gist of it. You know, how you have pretty much last year's EP. You know, pretty much the same example here. Run up, consolidation, and I got long there. Same deal, sideways, long, and in a sense, it did do its thing. But it's pretty much the exact same pattern that I'm looking forward on this one. And of course, you know, massive run up from last year. Wow. It's always good to look back at charts. But yeah, that one over 520. ASTS has been a recent aerospace runner of lately. Nice pullback. This was last year's EP of the year. My God, I got long this. I didn't think this was going to go all the way to freaking 40. I don't think no one did. But this is an EP of the year, last year, by far. Congrats to anyone who did bank on this, but it's pretty much, I should have done videos of it last year, but never did. But you're going to see the exact same patterns of this year, hopefully as I catalog everything this year. But EP galore, you know, EP galore. Right there, and right there. And it tried sometimes, but it stuffed. But nice base and breakout of the moving average right there. And ideally, it's going to go higher. The trend is bullish, as you can say, but I'm not going to really want to get long over 33 without conviction or with some news, but we'll see what happens. It's one of those plays for sure on the radar. It based off the moving average very beautifully right there, so it's not a coincidence. There's strength there. So over 33 ranges, open range high, and with all of these open range high EPs, the low of day is always a stop. Okay, low of day for me, and my stop is never greater than the ATR. It's never greater than the average true range. And also I don't buy a stock. I don't chase a stock if it's up more than the ATR. I wait for a dip. Now, for instance, if that means, like, let's just say the ATR is 256, and that today, for instance, it made a move. Oh, is this a good example? It's 256. Well, no, let's do this one. Which one? Let's see. Well, most of the time, well, let's see APLD, for instance. Okay, or lottery. Well, I don't know which one to do. Well, this one. The ATR is 256. I mean, that's the average true range. That's with the ideally within a range. It moves $2.56 a day in that given range time frame. So today it only moved 205. So you could have got long any time of the day, pretty much, because it's saying they could go higher, you know. But if the stock, let's say this made a $6 move on the day, and the ATR was 256, I'm not going to chase it. I would wait for a dip to get long and risk that way. If that makes any sense. But yeah, over 33. That's the game plan with this one. Hood, another one, 5-star setup, EP. Same deal, same thing as same type of play with app, same type of play with AUR, open range. You know, massive chart from back in the day. Nice range break. Same deal. There's so many setups here. Pause the video. Look at the setups. One, you know, same deal. One, that one kind of failed, but there, EP there, and then the recent one. Here we go. And momentum. That's all I really want. Positive growth. Sorry about that. But yeah, over that one, just same deal. Open range highs over 66, over 67. The more this base is, the more it consolidates, the better. I'll love that. Sideways, the better. Then go higher from there. POTR, I already went over. More sideways. Docs, another one type of deal. EP, same deal. Let it do its thing. Let it base. You know, had a nice run up, pull back, which is kind of unfortunate. You know, you want it to go higher, but this gap down is not really ideal. I don't like the way it gapped down. But I'm watching it over this range of 79. It could possibly, if not, oh well. And most of the times, again, if the setups don't work, cool. You just take the day off. You don't have to trade every day. Don't think you have to trade every day. Don't be like everyone else. Don't try to chase something. Sometimes the best trade is nothing. ACB, for instance, this one didn't really go as I planned. I tried to get long this, and it stuffed right there, Friday, you know. I thought it was going to go, but it didn't. But it's still basing. I'm watching it's over 620. If it holds 620, good. But it's one of those back burner, backlist ones. Had good earnings. So that one I'm watching for sure over 680 again. If not, it does its thing. Apps was a pretty much 5-star setup EP last week. This is really much the gist of what I'm trying to teach you here and what I'm trying to show you, my setup, my methodology here. EP galore. You know, I got long. I didn't hold it the entire way, but I got long again right there over the high day break, and I should have held, but I got long again there. But 3 times pretty much you could have got long. You know, the ideal entry is here on the first day with volume. But you could have got long there and there, and now again we're kind of in this sideways tilt, and that's fine because you want the stocks to go sideways to, as I mentioned, accumulate buyers and hopefully have another range higher. So let it do its thing. I'm watching it for sure. Let it, even if it pulled back to 575, even this range here is perfectly fine for another potential leg higher, because this has gone in the past. If you look left, this has done its thing in the past. So we're gonna see for sure what happens in this one. But yeah, that one. Any other ones I'm really watching? AIFF was the last week's really supernova. Congrats to anyone who did bank on this. I'm just going to watch this one for a dead cat bounce. Ideally, this is another setup I really take part in. Most of these will have bounces of some sort. Because you have shorts who want to cover, and you have bid buyers, and that leads to more buying pressure. So ideally, whenever you have that trend change, you'll know out of the gate, you see a lot of buying pressure in the tape, and you have great momentum in that way. So a bounce of some sort, you know, and we'll see if the bounce stabilizes. This doesn't go. Who says this can go higher? The short interest on this is very high, but I'm watching for a bounce. Ideally, over. I wouldn't be surprised if this bounce is back to 14 or something, given the short interest. But we'll see what happens on this one, and that can lead to another shorting opportunity. I don't short, not anymore at least. I'm not saying you can't, but it's just I just prefer not to. BBAI is another one I'm watching. AI sector play. Beautiful daily breakout. Beautiful. Again, beautiful. Same type of scenario as I mentioned. You know, you have the run up consolidation day, buy it there, and really that one's ideally a range day as well off the moving averages, but you really want to buy out of the gate here, you know. But now it's doing its thing, you know. Now it's in the range, and I'm watching it for sure to see if anything happens, if any news. Over 960. I think it had a red day, but I like how it's basing. I like how it's making higher lows, so it's a good sign of conviction. But that's really all of them I'm really watching. OKLO as well, type of scenario, 58 over ranges, but it's still surfing. It's still holding its range. And again, whenever a stock's in a range, don't take it off your list. It's just in a range. Okay, just because a stock's in a range doesn't mean it's shit. It's in a range. Keep a backlist of these stocks, and you'd be surprised how much further they can go. Just let them do their thing, okay? But in the last one I want to point out is Fannie Mae. This one is going to be a gift. If this does break over 720, this is going to be a gift. This is a 5-star setup. 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. OTCs move different than listed stocks, so this is purely momentum. Once this breaks over 520, it's going to be a gift. So ideally that one in Freddie Mac as well, same type of scenario, same setup. They move pretty much identical. They're pretty much brother and sisters within the sector. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. CPIX, AUR, APPP, AP, ASTS, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Hood, PLTR, IAT, DOCS. You know, and I want you to understand the similarities. They're all the same patterns, okay? Like, they're all the same. Like, I'm gonna go CPIX, see how same deal. AUR kind of not really, but app, same deal. ASTS, it's already breaking out. Fannie Mae, same pattern. Freddie Mac, same pattern. Hood, same pattern. PLTR, it's doing its thing. A lot of base ranges. Shop, I didn't talk about that one. I like this one more, higher the better. IAT, same pattern. DOCS, same pattern. Okay. ACB, same pattern. Apps is doing its thing. I already fulfilled the pattern. BBAI, backlist. Okay. One more. This one here. DO, I don't even know what the company is. I don't care. This one's something with Trump. I think Barron Trump or something. Eric Trump. Something he added. Something Trump related. I do believe this can go higher. I think this can go over $13, and that's why I'm watching. Look at this candle. Someone's buying this up here. So this one's for sure going to be on radar. If this does go over $13, my goodness, it's going to be one hell of a runner, okay? So this one keep you on high alert for over $13. If not, then let it fade, okay? But that's really all I see here. And again, if I see anything else, I'll probably upload during the week. But if not, it's just those main tickers. The main one I'm watching is Fannie Mae. It looks really good. Fannie Mae and, yeah, other ones I mentioned, okay? But yeah, again, just focus on your setups, focus on your trades, and every day know what you're doing. And again, every day, make a watch list. Okay? Make a watch list and just keep your stocks in a watch list. And every day, go back and look at the stocks. That's what I do. Okay, I keep a back list of stocks, and throughout the week, I go through them to see what they're doing. Again, set price alerts, and just because it's on your watch list does not mean you have to trade it. Okay, don't be like everyone else. Don't be a gambler. Don't do that. Okay, you're a trader. Okay, your job is to wait for the setups to come to you. Okay, but other than that, thank y'all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Again, I'm gonna be doing these more often. If you have any questions, any comments, or anything you want me to do videos of, leave them below, and I'll get back to you. But other than that, have a great week trading and stay safe.